guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's Down and Dirty is going to be geared a little more towards guys who are already in the industry and who already own their own business. I know that's a little departure from what we normally do, but I also think this is a pretty important topic. That being said, as you can see, I am totally whoring myself out today, but I feel like I'm allowed to do that now. So I did hold off on making this video for a while because I wanted to really establish with you guys that I'm not here to just plug products so that I can make a buck. In fact, I will be very honest and open with you. I'm not being paid at all to make this video. Dominic, my friend who owns Mod Interactive, which is all of the gear that I'm wearing, other than giving me some swag, has not paid me at all. In fact, I am paying him to host my website for me. So today's Down and Dirty topic is, do I need a website in the construction industry? And the answer is absolutely yes, and for two separate reasons. So the first reason is it legitimizes you as a business. So when you go to Google, you can search excavation companies in your area, and I promise you will probably find 20 or 30 that come up. And I would guess conservatively 40 to 60% of those don't have a website. So it comes off as a mom and pop operation, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't have a website, you don't just come off as a mom and pop operation, you come off as the guy who might come out and do the job halfway, take my money and run, and then I can't ever get a hold of you again. That's gonna be a severe problem for getting new customers, especially when there's 5 or 6 other companies in the area that probably do the same thing you do. They might actually do far inferior work than you do, but from a web presence standpoint, they look way more legitimate than you do because you don't have any sort of web presence whatsoever. And when I say web presence, I also don't mean a website that was built with Microsoft front page in 1995 and has glitters all over it like a MySpace page. That's not a legitimate website. You need to have a nice, formal, put together website where customers can contact you, request bids and quotes, and they need to be able to get a hold of you via your website, as well as see some before and after pictures of some of your work. This is just in the customer's mind. It's going to legitimize your business so that you don't look like one of those contractors that's just gonna take your money and run. Because let's face it, in the grand scheme of things, this is a pretty easy industry to get into and start a company. As long as you can get financed or at least rent a machine, guess what? You're in the excavating business. So that doesn't mean that you're a legitimate contractor. And a lot of homeowners sort of realize this about the excavating industry. You do have to be fairly choosy with who you go with as a contractor to avoid getting screwed over. And so the simple act of having a website proves that you are a legitimate business. You are there for the long haul, you've been around, and you do good quality work. So that's reason number one to have a website. So the second reason I would recommend having a website is almost more important than the first in today's market. Most companies that I know are not struggling to find new customers, and that's fine. Do you still need a website? Yes. And why do you ask? To find employees. The same principles that apply to homeowners and potential clients also applies to potential employees. Think about it. We're in a market right now where we're struggling to find qualified, skilled tradesmen in the workforce. It is absolutely 100% undisputedly an employee's market right now. I could go and cherry pick from a dozen companies in my area, and I as an employee get to decide who I want to work for, which means you as the employer are competing for those competent, skilled tradesmen. Well, again, you have to legitimize yourself as a company. If I go and Google excavating contractors in my area, I really don't have any desire to go work for a small fly-by-night company where I have to worry about if I'm gonna get a paycheck at the end of the week, or if I'm gonna be asked to do shady practices, or I'm gonna be running old beat up rundown equipment. There's no way for me to research your company as a potential employee unless I have a website to go off that not only legitimizes your business, but also gives me an idea of what kind of work you do, not only in the scope of work, but also the quality of work. These are both really important things to me as a potential employee to know before I contact you. And I'm gonna be honest, if you don't have a website, I skip right over you because there are another dozen companies out there that actually do have websites. I can do all of my homework and I don't even need to mess around with your company. And that's the sad truth. I don't mean to be offensive by any means, but that's kind of the truth of the industry right now is employees have their pick of which company they want to work for. So in order to attract good employees, it is important for you to have a legitimate website that shows your scope of work and is well put together and really presents you as a professional company. So that being said, yes, even if you are an established business, you have more work than you can shake a stick at, it is still important for you to have a good website. So now, full disclosure, we move into my shameless plug. And again, Dominic is not paying me to make this video whatsoever. I volunteered to do this video because he's done such an incredible job for me. So I'm going to put a link to my website down in the description for you guys to go check out. This was 100% made by Dominic. I gave him super loose guidelines on what I was looking for. He came back with an iteration. I told him I didn't like it, told him a couple things I thought that would look good to change. Again, very loose guidelines. And the website you see is his second iteration. Not only does he do great web design, he has the ability to capture the essence of what we do in the trades. You really get a feel for what my channel is about, for what the trades are about by going to my website. And that's exactly what I was looking for. And Dominic was able to do that on the second try with no guidance whatsoever for me. So that's the first reason I want to plug Dominic. The second reason is he's really fair when it comes to web development. He has pricing structures that are going to vary according to obviously your circumstances and how complex of a website you want and all the pictures and web design. Obviously there's going to be some variance in pricing, so I can't just say it's a $500 for a website. But that being said, he's super reasonable on his web design, and I've come from the business world, so I have a feel for what web design costs. He's really reasonable, especially for guys in the trades who don't want to go invest $5,000 in a website. So all that to say, if you don't have a website, if you would like to get a website, I would highly, highly recommend Dominic and Mod Interactive. They did a fantastic job for me. I will link their information down below. And that's really all I've got. This was kind of a half video to plug Dominic because he's done such a fantastic job and I'm thrilled to death. But then the other aspect is, it is a really common misconception in this industry that because we move dirt and we're a bunch of dumb dirt guys, that we don't really need a website, we can just get by. And while that is sort of true, you will 100% benefit from having a nice professional website. So I hope this has been helpful to you business owners out there. I hope I haven't come off as some snake oil salesman. That is absolutely not what I want to do. I really do legitimately try to have your best interest at heart. And that's why I put off making this video for so long. I really wanted to kind of establish my channel and make sure that you guys were aware of what my true intentions were. So that being said, I'm gonna stop talking on this one. You guys have a good one.